All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And of course, thanks for subscribing. Truly appreciate the support. We're back at it off the heels of the annual shareholders, annual investors meeting for Tesla. Making a little trip to New York City. Wanted to test the other tunnel to see how it handles funneling now in version 14. We're in FSD version 14.1.4. The latest version for the cars, if you will. There is a 1.5 for Cybertruck, but that's specific to Cybertruck. And as I mentioned before to everybody, for each major variant that they have, major platform change, they need a different model. So the model that they primarily use is for 3 and Y, and then they're going to need another model for S and X, and then they need another model for Cybertruck. That's why the different version number for Cybertruck there is right now. All right, but yeah, the annual shareholders meeting was pretty good. I wanted to share my thoughts with it and just give my feedback on it. It seemed very positive overall. The new branding, the new mission is great. Sustainable abundance, I think that's a great tagline, first and foremost, but also a great goal to aspire towards, right? Making sustainable abundance versus the advent of sustainable transport, which I think was great. Obviously, the big elephant in the room is the CEO compensation package, which everybody voted for, which the majority voted for overwhelmingly, 75%, I believe, of the votes, which is great. So good for him to do that, but also good for him to accomplish those goals that will ultimately benefit all the shareholders. So if you're an investor, now is the time to jump in if you haven't jumped in already. If you've been a long-time investor before, now is the time to double down. To try to see what this next chapter, or this next book, as he calls it, is going to bring. Optimus updates, battery storage updates. I think with the culmination of everything that they build, sustainable abundance made more sense versus being limited to sustainable transport. So I think that works well. But some FSD updates as well here, specifically around the concept of, get this toll real quick, good job with the toll, specifically around the concept of attention monitoring, and that being potentially reduced to the point where you can actually start texting. And he actually said you can actually text, which is very interesting. And if you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I'm a big supporter of being able to free up time, and how that's the major unlock for FSD take rate and major unlock for Tesla demand in general. So if you can do things like text, email, be productive while you commute, that's going to be the major unlock. And he seems to be aligned with that and that understanding. So that's great. The company as a whole seems to be aligned with that. And now they're talking about in another month or two being able to loosen restrictions to the point where you can actually start texting and texting while in the car. Now, that opens up a big can of worms from a regulatory perspective, because the laws in every state in the US is that you cannot operate a phone while driving a vehicle, or they may even call it operating a vehicle. You cannot use a phone while doing that. So you can't text, you can't have the phone to your head, or you're subject to a ticket, get pulled over and get a ticket. Now, technically, using FSD is not driving, and if they reduce the attention monitoring, it's not even operating or supervising. You're just basically a passenger in the driver's seat. And so that requires a whole new relooking or rethinking or reimagining of the law, how it applies, right? So if you're an FSD, you're texting, police pulls you over, looks to give you a ticket, and you say, hey, I'm on FSD, I wasn't driving, the car was not driving, the leg he has to stand on, tight quarters here. Pop my cameras up again so you guys can see. By the way, just a little side note, the overwhelming majority for cameras instead of maps is there, so I'm going to stick with the cameras for now. We'll revisit it in a little while, see if it makes sense to change it back. But for those asking or pestering in the comments about having the visualization on the screen, this is a Model S. You do not have the visualization on the screen, you have the visualization here. Maybe at one point in the future they can add it to mirror here as well. So you can't show the visualization if you can't see what's going on here. It's really about focusing on what's here. It doesn't really matter too much what shows in the visualization at this point. It matters what the car actually does and how close it is to objects, right? Is it too close? Is it too far? Is it evading or taking the right space in the road or in the lane? That's what matters. What it shows in the visualization, because it doesn't even show everything in the visualization. It doesn't show speed bumps, doesn't show cones, doesn't show potholes. Sometimes it shows debris, but not to a consistent extent. But okay, back to the point. The police officer says, hey, you can't operate a phone while you're driving or operating a vehicle. And you're saying, hey, the police officer said that, and that's the rule, that's the law, but I'm not operating, it's on FSD. You're gonna get into a little bit of an argument, you're gonna probably have to go in front of a judge, and they probably will rule in favor of the police officer, because technically you're in a position to operate the car, and technically FSD is called supervised, so you're supposed to be supervising the car, which is could be considered operating. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know the details of it, but that's probably the leg that they're going to have to stand on. So there's probably going to need to be some regulatory approvals for you to actually text while using FSD. And each state is going to have to get behind that in order for it to take effect, I think. But very interesting concept. And again, that's going to be the thing that's going to be the unlock, is just making sure that you get that time back to do something and be productive while you are on FSD. All right, so here we go with funneling here. It's never been really great at this. Still kind of hesitant there. Decides to go to the right, but it commits. It doesn't like waver too much. So a little bit of hesitation there, but ultimately it commits. Has to get over quickly before the cones get there. Good job. Good job committing. Don't know what the logic was behind which path to take. Again, I want to be careful about these pylons because they have been hit and they're leaning towards the car, so that makes it closer to the actual side view mirror. So it needs to keep a good distance so as to not hit them. Oh, they're so close. Trucks and things like that hit them and they get bent, so they start to skew in towards your lane and encroach on the area where your mirrors are. But interesting concept nonetheless of, being able to text and drive or be able to do something that's technically illegal in these cars, right? Now, there's no ruling against the autonomy that's here. So some people argue that even just giving us this level of autonomy is illegal or is wrong, but there are no laws against that. There are no self-driving autonomous laws in effect right now. Bus is going over the lane here. Woo, tight. Tight. A little claustrophobic there. So that's okay for them to be able to release this like this legally. So they have a leg to stand on there. But you're responsible for your own vehicle. So if something happens, you're responsible, your insurance is responsible, not Tesla. Now, when we talk about texting or sleeping or napping or writing an email or doing your makeup or doing your hair or whatever, I think it's safe to agree that you're safer on FSD to be able to do those things. Because right now, people, whether you like FSD or not, you have to be able to agree to that. People are driving manually, doing their makeup, texting on the phone, which is way more dangerous to do that way than it would be being in FSD. So I think there's some leeway there for some rules to be changed and adjusted that allow people to do that based on the factor of safety, and that it's safer to do those things while on FSD. Even for people who are on FSD right now, you have to turn off FSD, and Elon mentioned this in the presentation, turn off FSD to text because the system will get you. And then you become less safe because you're doing that. So interesting conversations ahead, interesting to see what it's going to bring to bear in terms of legislation and regulations around using or multitasking using autonomy. So I'd be interested to see what becomes of that. All right, tunnel seems to be no problem as usual. So that's great. It has to make, supposed to be making a little bit of a left here, but it's gonna go right. That's fine. See which way it goes. Gonna get in the left lane here. So we're in New York City now. For those who don't know, we're in New York City. We're in Manhattan. Gonna make a quick stop in Manhattan, and then we're gonna head to Brooklyn right after this. And this is a weekday, so there's tons of traffic, and I will definitely fast forward past the standstill traffic, of which there's going to be a lot of it. So I'm not looking forward to it, but this is what we got. We're in hurry mode, not MadMax, hurry mode. I prefer that, hurry or standard. MadMax is a little bit too assertive on highways specifically, but since we're not on the highways, I guess we could change it to MadMax and see what happens. I'll put it on MadMax here. See if it makes a difference. Probably doesn't. But yeah, interesting stuff in that annual shareholders meeting. Lots of reassurance, lots of good voting for the things that were up for voting. So good night all around. A lot of interesting questions. A lot of sucking up. I have to say, I'm sorry. It's a lot of sucking up. Yes, he's done great work. Yes, he's doing a great job. Yes, we look forward for him to do more of his great work. But every question was like my life story in love for Elon to start and then get to the question. And then most of the questions, they didn't really feel like they thought them out pretty well. So that was very entertaining, to say the least. But one of the ones was talking about FSD ownership, which I would have followed up immediately if I was there. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there. I would have followed immediately with the question. So the question was, has Tesla thought about moving FSD ownership over to the account level as opposed to the vehicle level? Meaning that if you sell your car, FSD goes with it, versus keeping it at the account level where you buy it outright, $8,000, whatever $1,000, and you have a license tied to your account, and you can apply that software license effectively to any vehicle that you would like, any one vehicle, one-to-one, right? And Elon was like, oh, well, I think we did that before. We allowed FSD transfers. That's not FSD transfer. That's not what he's talking about. That's not what we're talking about. FSD transfer is nice. It's a good lever to pull for demand. But at the end of the day, if people are buying FSD outright, they should be able to transfer it to any car they want, and it shouldn't be tied to the vehicle. The same way that you have a subscription. When you have a subscription for FSD and you sell your car, you still have your subscription for FSD then applies to the new car that you buy because it's tied to your account. The subscription is tied to your account. And that's what the question was asking. We didn't really get an answer. He just said, oh, we'll extend it for at least another quarter. That's great, but we got to make it easier to sell new units while also rewarding customer loyalty. Again, that's Tesla's Achilles heel, in my opinion, is their customer loyalty. What incentive do you get for supporting them early? Even the question about the Roadster, Founder Series Roadster, you got people asking basic questions that seem like they would be a no-brainer. Like, hey, I paid for a Founder Series Roadster, which is a $250,000 long-term loan now at this point, because you had to put $250,000 down for the Founder Series, not the regular one. Regular one, you put $45,000, $50,000 down, you can get that back. But the Founder Series, you had to put the full amount down. So Tesla's been holding $250,000 from people for quite some time now. And that's not cool, with no interest, no return other than getting the car whenever it comes out. And so the question that was asked was, hey, well, if I'm a Founder Series reservation, can I get one of the first ones? Or can I get the first one? Go ahead, brother. And you got to take your time too. That's not nice. And Elon's, I think about it. Yeah, you'll get one of them, but they're going to be in order, which is fair. They should be in the order that they were reserved in. Absolutely agree with that. Well, can I get an invite to the actual demo? He had to think about it. Like, why are you thinking about it? Yes, absolutely. You will get an invite, and you were going to get an invite this entire time. Well, garbage truck action happening here. Slowly sneaking by. Good job. Pedestrians. It can go. It can go. Now it'll wait. It's okay. Safer course of action. It's cool. So yeah, that was just pretty interesting to me, where it's like, that customer loyalty. Hey, these people have put $50,000 to $250,000 in the Tesla bank for all this time, and you're thinking about whether they should be invited to the demo or not. That's crazy. They should be flown out on Tesla's dime. They should be put up on Tesla's dime, and they should get like front row seats to whatever this product demo is, which was supposed to be the end of the year. And now I'm hearing it's supposed to be, I think he said April of next year, which is, again, interesting. Whether it's the icing on the cake or the cherry on the cake, if reservations just cost $100, that's something different. But the fact that you're holding $50,000 to $250,000 of people's money since 2017 is wild. Is absolutely wild. I'm in that boat too, so I'm not the founder series. I got the regular deposit, so that's just sitting there collecting, you know, helping Tesla out and not me. Had we invested that same amount of money in Tesla stock, it would be wild right now. We would have some major gains right now. But we invested in a deposit on a car that has not come yet, and we're hemming and hawing about getting invites to the presentation or the unveiling or whatever the case may be. So all interesting stuff. Again, overall positive meeting. Excited where the future is going to go for Tesla. Glad that Elon's is back on board and locked in. Hope he stays locked in, and I hope he stays kind of out of politics. Because whether you agree with his political views or not, I think we can all agree that you're going to need everybody on board with your brand in order to achieve what they're looking to achieve. And it has to be like factual data driven, not emotional or not political, in terms of being able to buy into the mission. Because otherwise you're going to have enemies. Those enemies are going to start to stop you and block you. And hey, you can't use full self-driving in this state. Or hey, I'm not going to pass this legislation that assists in doing X, Y, Z. And it's going to be a problem. So definitely makes sense for him to keep his political views to himself and now focus on making Tesla an objective company in terms of what it's trying to do and doesn't sway on either side of the fence from a political standpoint. All right, signal on, it's got to get over here, car's double parked. And here's a scenario where you have a car service or Uber Black, whatever the case may be, double parked waiting for their ride. That's going to be the challenge for New York City and in any major urban area like New York City, is what happens when you get to your destination and there's no parking. What does the car do? What do you do? Do you just sit and wait for it to figure it out? Can you get out and let the car figure out parking, or a car go somewhere a little bit further away, double park, wait till it's asked to move, or flashing lights or whatever, and then it goes somewhere else to double park and just waits till you call it on your phone and then it returns to you? That's going to be something specific to New York City. So here's his fare getting picked up, and he should be good to go from there. So hopefully if he goes straight, we'll turn our turn signal off and go straight as well. But I think someone's in front of him because he's backing up, and he's going to look to turn as well. So lots of Model Y, car service, Uber, or whatever the case may be. Here's where FSD has to be a little bit more assertive in getting in here, because the taxi cab is not going to let us in. This guy's not going to let us in. We're just kind of sitting here. Here we go. This guy's chained us, so we're going to sneak in here. Good job reacting to the opening. And then we got to go. Stop. Good job. Stop here because the light's getting ready to change. Officer holding their hand up. That person's not even listening. But good job. Good anticipation, right? So it saw that the timer, I think, was counting down and the light was getting ready to change. Add to that the officer standing right there with his hand up for a double sort of pedestrian precaution of a stop. And then ultimately makes the right decision to stop and not block the intersection. So that's great. Great job, FSD. Lots of traffic here. You guys should be able to see it right here. Just tons and tons of traffic. I'll try to fast forward through it. All right, green light. It's getting out there. It's getting a little assertive. MadMax mode. Guess maybe MadMax was the preferred method here, so glad I changed it. It's got to get in there. It's got to stay tight. Good job. A little blocking right here, but the light is green, so we should be able to clear the intersection and the crosswalk. if it stays tight. It's staying nice and tight right now, which is, well, probably can get a little tighter. Car needs to get in. Do we let him over? It's tight. It's letting him in. Good job. But yeah, good overall meeting. Happy to see what the future brings. And even, I'm just harping on this one last thing. They were asking about doing more parties, more events for the retail shareholders, which is great. Again, just things that I think Tesla should be more proactive about. It thanks its shareholders, it thanks its customers, but it doesn't really do a whole lot to show that right now. Throwing events, giving back, updating the referral program, maybe giving some more back to the owners per vehicle sold, things like that. That's where Tesla could stand to improve tremendously. There's people who bought, 5 or more Teslas over the last, 10 years. There should be something for them. Any other brand you buy 5 or more of their cars, they're giving you all kinds of swag. They're giving you all kinds of stuff. They're making you feel special. They're thanking you for your contribution. They're giving you maybe discounts on some of or early access to the new vehicles before they come out. So like we know a performance Model Y is coming out. Maybe people who have bought X amount of Teslas have early access to make reservations early than everybody else, or take delivery early before everybody else. Those types of things. So again, just something to note as they change and transition to this new chapter or this new book, that they should focus on customer loyalty in that regard. But all right, back to FSD. We're here, full self-driving, relaxing in the heat of New York City traffic, Midtown Manhattan, tons of traffic, all lanes full. It's doing a great job getting in, doing a great job closing the gap and not making it easy for people to jump in and cut us off, but then also giving the right of way to people when necessary, when applicable. So that's great. So far, no interventions, no encouragements, and no brake stuttering right now. There was a little bit of a hitch in the yoke trying to decide which path it wanted to go for the tunnel, but it wasn't a brake situation. Okay, so I have all 3 measured on the side here to be able to understand how it's doing and be able to compare to other drives in the city where maybe I had to do an intervention, or maybe I had to do an encouragement, or maybe I had to do or maybe the car was doing a little bit of extra braking. So we got 2 stops. I'll try to keep this all in one video as opposed to breaking it up. So it'll be a longer drive. So it'll be about an hour drive versus, 30 minutes apiece. Feel free to skip ahead. I have chapters in the timeline or in the description. Feel free to jump ahead if you want to see the next leg of the trip. But otherwise, I'm just going to go, and I'm going to be here. I'm going to my destination. I'm going to park on the street, curbside. Got that there, ready to go. If it doesn't find any parking, it'll try to pull over wherever it can. And then I'll resume to the next stop. And then we're going to hit the FDR and then go to Brooklyn. So just from a map perspective, what we're looking at is going here, coming up here, cutting through Central Park, coming all the way down the FDR, and then heading over into Brooklyn to our next stop there. Okay, and then I'll end it there. And if I need to do any other traversal, I'll make that in another video. But otherwise, I'll try to keep my talking after my rant here to a minimum. Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. However you're watching it, on your phone, on your TV, just let's see what it does. Hopefully we have no issues. I don't need to intervene. And we got a great, safe trip. It's always been safe. It's just a matter of how comfortable it is and how competent it is in certain scenarios, like right now. Okay, good job. Big pothole. Ugh. At least it was smooth. One brake flutter there, precautious braking. I'll count it either way, just so you guys are aware. So one on that. It's not an intervention, but it's something that the car is exhibiting that adds to the level of discomfort in the ride, which also plays towards lack of confidence. Looking at this brawlability van here, which are converted vans for disabled people and accessible people, or people with accessible needs. He did talk about, he had a question about building something for people in wheelchairs. Talked about using the robo van. I don't know why he keeps calling it Robovan, robo van, as that, just try to change the look of the roads. But yeah, it's definitely something that could come in handy. I know people who use wheelchairs right now. Just got to make a decision. It's going to choose to go. Yellow light still moving good briskly, so that was a good decision. But people who use wheelchairs and do have Teslas and are taking advantage of full self-driving right now, especially in version 14, they still have to get the wheelchair or other devices into the car and then get in. But yeah, they've been doing it for a while, so if there's something that's even better, more spacious, that'd be great. Good job with the speed bump. Good reflexes there. Trying to get away from this car. It's great. One thing, it's a very comfortable ride right now, very relaxing, just like being in a car service, Uber Black, or not car service, let me distinguish between being in an Uber Black or ride share service. The difference, I think, is going to be the level in which you care about the car you're in, right? Because there's a little bit of what happens if this car hits a big pothole or somebody sideswipes us or something like that, that you don't have when it's not your car. There's that little bit of anxiety in the back of your mind that is still there. And I don't care what model you have, S, X, Y, 3, you're still gonna have that because it's your car. This person is not very smart. All right, slowing down from pedestrian, very good. Looking to make a lane change if the opportunity is there, very nice. And here we are, Columbus Circle. Look at that. Nice view, nice fall weather, nice colors for the leaves. It's a large traffic circle. We know FSD can handle traffic circles, so there shouldn't be an issue. Would love to try the one in Italy, the one from John Wick, the one with the John Wick level of traffic, which is probably an exaggeration of how much traffic there actually is. I think I saw that place once. I didn't drive through it, but I think I saw it on foot. Definitely doesn't have as much traffic as they had on John Wick, but I can see that being an issue. Would love to see how FSD handles that. Hard to see the lane lines here. Let's hope it chooses the right lane, the correct lane. This truck doesn't seem to know where it's going. We're trying to squeeze in. Good job getting around. Now it has to go right. Great job. Nice and easy. Hesitation for that. So that guy coming in the back cameras, I saw him out the side of my eye. So that's a great example of FSD being able to see simultaneously out multiple cameras. And this was just horrible driving for this person, but good job getting around it. signaling at every turn, so doing the right thing, following the rules, but being assertive. So this is great. Coming up to our destination. Just want to see what it's going to do here. See what it does in terms of parking. And then we'll go ahead and switch to our next destination. So far, great decision making all around, great lane selection, great anticipation of the lights changing in New York City, and the great anticipation of pedestrians, meaning that it's stopping where appropriate and not overreacting for pedestrians. We did have a brake situation, but it wasn't for a pedestrian. Pedestrian coming to the right, slows down, knows it has the right of way, sees that they stop, and goes. Great job. Great job. Coming up to our destination here, it's got to find a place to park. Can't park there. What's it going to do? It's got a turn signal on. Can it park right here where this lady is? Yes, it can. So the lady's got to move out the way and stop talking on the phone. And then we're going to pull in this spot right here. Should still have his turns. There we go. Turn signal back on. Backs up nicely. This person's just walking in the middle of the street. Box. Don't get too close to these curbs, please. Great job parking. Yes, car. Do your thing.
Like a glove.
Excellent work. Excellent work. So that's the first trip. I'm going to keep the counter up, and then you'll be able to see from the parts in the chapters where it did what. That way we look at the cumulative trip versus each individual trip and resetting the counters. All right, so now we're going to continue our trip from here, start here, and take off. Great job so far. Signaling, pulling off. Surprised we got parking. That was a shocker. Cyclist, move it, buddy. Move it. Probably not the best decision on that one, just because we have the right of way. That guy was just creeping up, and he likes to run. They run red lights here with the bikes. But again, safer course of action. All right, let's see where we're going here. I'm gonna go this way. Come on, give it to me. Finger's not working today. No, stop. Cut that out. Cut it out. It's not letting me go this way. It's giving me everything but that one. Okay, so that's probably for the second trip. That's the loop around for the second trip. I'll take that. And maybe in the interest of time, I skip this next stop. Let me do that. Let me skip the next stop, go right to Brooklyn. Let me go here, edit trip. Let me take this one out, go done. Red light here. Let's just go straight to Brooklyn. For the sake of time, it's 47 minutes. That's a long time. I'll fast forward as best I can through all of it, just to make it quicker, but I'm gonna skip that stop just to save us some time. Now, I would go this way. I know some people asked to go this way, from FDR to Manhattan Lower Bridge, but it's a little bit more traffic to go that way, a little faster to go that way. This is 44 minutes, this is 47 minutes. So we're gonna take the faster route this instance. I think it's gonna perform the same. If any issues that you typically had before, bridges and tunnels, 14 has pretty much solved all of those. So test it out yourself if you can, if you're nearby, if you're local. Otherwise, just rest assured that FSD 14 has probably resolved any issues or hesitation that 13 had in terms of getting into certain areas. Good job reacting to that person. Quick lane change. Okay, good. All right. So far, don't want to jinx it. FSD 14 is ready for New York City. Very, very impressed so far. Interesting situation here. Street cleaning, street sweeping vehicle. Please don't mucky my car up. Bus sticking out, it sees it, turn signal on to get out of the lane. Slows down for these people crossing the street at the wrong time. Not the best decision, but it does it. Great job. Not the best decision on their part, but the car did a great job handling it. Could have also just went as well, but again, safer course of action. I'll continue to say that. That was the safer course of action. Let them go, hold up the traffic behind you and let them go, as opposed to have them standing in the middle of the street. A lot of potholes. We're following the taxi. Good job. Still hit one, but good job. Interesting logic when I see it follow and do what the car in front of it does versus thinking on its own. One of the other topics that Elon mentioned, it was about AI being too smart and what does the AI do when the car is just sitting around, doesn't want the AI to get bored. That's a very interesting concept of the AI thinking, being sentient, if you will, and thinking on its own, which is where I start to see glimpses and hints of that now, even though he said it was coming later. But that would be interesting. Does it get bored? Does it get impatient? Because it's not doing anything, it's just kind of sitting around. And he introduced the concept of potentially renting out your car's your car for inference, basically using your car for inference compute when it's not being used, when it's idle. Very interesting. I wonder what kind of drain on the battery that has to be able to do that. And I also wonder what type of security is in place, right, for Tesla to access your vehicle remotely, use your vehicle's computer for whatever data it has running through it, and then turn it off at some point and not have access to your data. Anticipating this car changing lanes, and it didn't change the lane, which is great. Putting on a little bit of a turn signal here just because it's tight quarters. I'm okay with that. Wow, nasty. So to the left of me is someone on the phone, on the back of a cab, just relaxing, taking it easy. Where I'm in the front seat, relaxing, taking it easy, being driven probably by the superior driver in this FSD versus the taxi driver. But that carefreeness or carefree nature of just being free of thought and not having to worry about what happens to the car is the thing that also is going to be lacking in the future when we start to get more advanced to the point where we can take a nap and sleep. There's still that, hey, what if something happens to the car? Flat tire, nail, things like that. Don't jinx myself, knock on carbon fiber. What happens then? Little brake flutter there. I'll count that one. It's 2 total so far. Illegal U-turn, go. Illegal U-turn, go. Nice. necessary braking here because that person kind of jumped out, backed up a little bit. I won't count that. Necessary precautious braking in case he decided to run back with that strap. I'm okay with that. Not the nicest roads. So let me see. We're kind of almost there. Kind of almost there. Then we'll jump on the highway, go down, then go through the bridge and see what happens. Some construction on the way. We'll see how that impacts things. See how the car responds. Good choice. This truck was trying to get behind us. I'm glad I didn't. He wasn't still behind us. He's trying to get around us, I should say. He's braking awfully hard. You hear his brakes squealing. Everybody's impatient in New York City. Everybody has to get somewhere fast. And it really has, I think it has to do with the traffic. Like, you spend so much time in traffic, when you finally get a break, you just want to go. Try to make up the time you lost sitting in traffic. Emergency vehicle coming. Good job. Pulling over and resuming. Don't react for this pedestrian. Okay. Did react, but it did it nicely and not like crazy with the brakes. Definitely needs some fine tuning around pedestrians in New York City. It's taking a safer course of action, but there's a little more tolerance between you having the right of way and a pedestrian going. Pedestrians are never going to just stop at the curb all the time. There's always going to be one or two people, if not everybody, creeping up in the street to the edge of where the cars are driving and looking for an opportunity to cross. And those are the people that we have to be conscious of in terms of understanding where we have the right of way and can keep going. Maybe it's get off the accelerator and coast through or slowly coast through with the regen versus, coming to a full stop. Put the sun visor up because we got lots of sun here. Potholes. All right, there goes the bridge. Just need to get there. I really can't see with the sun visor up, but I'm hoping the car can. I'm putting my blind trust into FSD, MadMax to get us there. I can't even see. Okay. Now I can see. That's pretty interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the bridge. What am I talking about? Our bridge is way down the way. So we got some more time to go. I'll speed through this. Just changed the camera. I know some people were complaining about the camera obstructing the view of the visualization. I put it on the center screen. Hopefully that should help. Forgot to do that at the beginning of the drive, but hopefully it's sufficient now. There's our bridge. Here's our exit. Did a great job navigating the horrors of the FDR, the uneven surfaces, the roads, the bumps, dips, and aggressive drivers versus assertive drivers. Changing lanes nicely. Yield for them, and they're not yielding, so we're yielding, which is not the right thing to do. My horn beep so they can go. Car doesn't beep the horn on its own. Not an intervention, just me trying to hurry along the situation. Trying very hard not to cross the solid white line. I can feel it hesitating, and now it crosses when it can. Great job. Brooklyn Bridge. Lots of pedestrians in the middle, cars on both sides. And we're probably the only car fully autonomously or semi-autonomously crossing this bridge right now. No Waymos here, so I think we're safe to say that we're the only ones here today, right now, crossing this bridge, which is kind of cool. Good job. You can feel it going around certain cars, staying in the lane. Great job doing that. Similar to how it does to avoid trucks, semis on the highway. And now we should be piling into our traffic here. Let's see where it is. Yes, we should. This is it. And traffic. I'll do my best to fast forward past this as best we can and be on our way. Looks like we have one speed camera, which I may drop down from MadMax in order to avoid. MadMax seems to not have any wherewithal for speed cameras. Excuse me. Has to get over. Come on, let me in. They're not letting us in. Has to try to get a little bit more assertive to get in here. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. You guys keep an eye here. Just gonna try to get in. Someone's gonna let us in here probably, but no. They're giving us a window, but it's not taking the window that they're giving us. Probably after this car we can go. You have to be a little bit more, you have to be willing to get a little bit more bumper to bumper in order to take advantage of the gaps that they give you in New York City. Everybody likes to stay tight. So I'll take this moment. Oh, it's a big one. I'll take this moment to drop down. I just got the notification for speed camera. I'll drop down to standard to avoid the speed camera or any issues with the speed camera. Standard's dropping down now to 25 miles an hour, a little bit lower as we slow down towards this light, which is great. When we pass it, I'll go back up to MadMax. But as far as I can tell in my testing, personal, on camera and off camera, it doesn't adhere to the speed camera. It just tells you that it's there, but MadMax will just go whatever speed it thinks it needs to go in order to get you to where you need to go. So I'll skip the ticket. Dual turning lanes. I have a truck next to me. Hopefully he turns the correct distance. Good job, everybody. Speed camera is there. Where is it? I don't see it. Oh, good quick get over here. Look at that. Good quick lane change. I like that. Let's go try to get over one more. And it does. This is on standard, so it's not MadMax. Just get past the speed camera. And I think I see it. I'll go ahead and bump back up to MadMax. There we go. All right, look at that. We're almost at our destination. And we've only been going for about an hour and maybe hour and 20 minutes. Pretty long drive. Hopefully it doesn't feel that way in the video. I can get it down to 35 minutes or so. This person's trying to come out. Good job. MadMaxing yourself. This guy's like crushing this Model Y. Like, I think I can hear it. He's like backing up into the Model Y to get out of the tight spot. That hurts. To come out to that. It's our usual fanfare. You park your car in the city, you're gonna get somebody side swiping you, backing up into your bumper. It's just a nightmare, especially if you love your car. If you don't care about it, it's just a regular beater that you ride around town, maybe no big deal. But if you like your car, it's a problem. We had that happen to the X. X was parked out here. Somebody sideswiped it, truck crushed the side view mirrors, all kinds of stuff happening. It's not great. So you try to avoid that pothole. Good job. Good thinking. Look, lane changes, no turn signal, just turning. Not a care in the world. No, don't go. Don't let me encourage you. Please go. Good job. I was very close to encouraging it. So no encouragements, no disengagement so far. Just got some brake fluttering, can't even pronounce it. And a horn press. I'm not going to count a horn press, but you know, it is what it is. Just communicating to other drivers. Good job stopping for the pedestrian. Now let's see if we have any parking on this stop. I'm not sure we do. Tight squeeze here. Oh my goodness. This looks tough, but if the Range Rover can make it, we should be able to make it too. Come on, car, show me something. Yes, sir. No light at all here. What are we supposed to do here? There's no traffic light at all. Come on, guy. Don't beep at me. Being courteous to the pedestrians. We have no lights here. All right, here we go. We're gonna go for it. No lights at all. Cars coming to the left. Go slow. Good job creeping through here. Great job. The lights are gone. Tight quarters again. Good job getting through. All right, here we go. What's happening? Are you stopping? Are you not stopping? Ooh, it's tight. Very tight. Ugh, claustrophobic. Great work. All right, come up to our destination. Probably gonna park right there. That's what I would have done. I parked there and then walked. It's gonna try to get closer. I'll let it get one pass of parking. If it doesn't get it, I'll just stop the video, double park, and call it a day. These tight quarters and people without their mirrors open. This is terrible. Oh no, this is tight. I'm a little wider than the Camry. I don't like this. This guy has his reverse on. Just put the car in park or the truck in park. Let people get by because this is not ideal. Here we go. Come on, we got to make it. Don't hit that mirror. Oh, so close to the mirror. Oh, this now he wants to get out. No turn signal, no nothing. Well, thanks for saving us the hassle of squeezing through. But now you got to go. People just walking. This is Brooklyn. It's a little even more assertive sometimes than Manhattan in terms of the pedestrian assertiveness. Smart decision on the yellow. We'll take it. This is weird. It probably should not do what they're doing. Let the passenger go and stay in this lane, please, and go straight, because they're crossing the double yellow, which is not what you're supposed to do. We're supposed to be turning here as well, and I don't know what's happening. Bicycles, motorcycles, school buses. It's just a world of madness. Come on, make the turn now. Go now. Go now. Go now. No. It's kind of stuck. I have to give it the encouragement. It's kind of stuck. Doesn't know how to do it. I'll take it. It's going to go around. It doesn't know what to do. I got to give the encouragement. It doesn't know how to take that turn for some reason. I'll flag that. And then it's going to look to go back around. I'm not going to wait for that one. Because it's going to loop back around and try the same thing. And it doesn't know how to make that maneuver, or maybe chose not to make that maneuver because of the congestion. Either way, it did a great job. I'll count that last encouragement just because it was there, but I'll wrap it up here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you thought about this video, how well it did in New York City. If you got a chance to use yours in New York City or ride in someone's in New York City, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think it did pretty well. Lots of confidence all around, lots of great decisions, as I mentioned throughout the video. This last instance was the sort of edge case here for me, where it didn't know how to take that turn and people are going around us. I had to give it an encouragement. It kind of was just stuck there frozen, didn't want to move. So it is what it is. This is a tight street here. Gee, this is tight. Put the cameras back up so we can get a glimpse of this. Extra credit here. But I think the confidence, comfort was there. The brake fluttering aside lowered the comfort and also lowered the confidence as a result of that. But I think this was still a high Uber Black, getting us to Manhattan from New Jersey, through the tunnels, to Manhattan, through Columbus Circle, found a nice parking spot, parked, first destination, second destination, all through the FDR, all the way down to the bridge, and into Brooklyn, and did a great job overall. So I think I'm going to give it a high Uber Black on this one as well. Very, very good. Now we're at the March of Nines, the edge cases, the small things that make it, perfect or close to perfect, or searching for perfect, or searching for perfection, I should say. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Until the next time, enjoy your day, enjoy your Tesla.